Well, I think I struggle to find myself in somewhat world or reference or definition of being a writer because it's work for one thing and it's reading for another, but to try to make some personal reference to being a writer, I found difficult. I don't know if you do too, but I did. I mean, I could refer, say, to a 10th grade English class when the English teacher didn't believe my story and I wasn't writing fiction. And I like to refer to that as the start of my literary career, that I was rejected. That's a good start. And or say, you know, someone reading and reciting something that I wrote, you know, makes a, but it's not a real, say, family or personal connection that I wanted and needed. And so it wasn't until I was a graduate student at the University of Minnesota that I went to the Minnesota Historical Society to do research on Anishinaabe or Chippewa writers and political leaders. And luckily, the Anishinaabe have a historian who was writing in 1839 to 1850, which is extraordinary to have a historian that early writing about, you know, the people, his people, my people, etc. But I was doing this research, and it was late in the day, and a very generous reference librarian asked me if I had seen the progress, and I didn't know what that meant, and so she brought out bound volumes of a newspaper that was published for more than 20 years by my relatives, my direct relatives, on the reservation, starting in 1886. It was a transformational moment that I still feel because I found my secure personal reference, or referent also, as a writer. It was in the family, and I fully identified with everything they wrote and could argue, as I might argue with family members about what they wrote. It became a personal and everlasting reference as a writer. I didn't have to look to F. Scott Fitzgerald in Minnesota. I didn't have to consider the Chicago Tribune of my liking. I didn't have to be influenced by the New York Times. I was influenced personally by my direct ancestors who published a paper mostly critical of the federal government in 1886. So critical that the Indian agent, you know, at the time natives had no rights, seized the press and ordered my relatives off the reservation. They were to be banished.